Know your customer, know who you're going to go after, be very, very clear in your mind as to who that person is. Don't just aim your app at everybody. Understand what they like, what they're into, what other apps they have, why they're going to use your app. Have a really, really good, clear idea about that. If you can, I would say try to have one really standout feature, a really high quality feature in your app that's different, that's unique, that's newsworthy, that people will talk about. The whole of your app obviously has to function very well. It's got to be very easy to use. It's got to be well designed. If you've got one thing that can stand out that people will get talking about, then it helps it to take off. I think another piece of advice is just not to give up. You've got to be willing to get out there, get in front of your app, do all of the traditional marketing that you would do for that app in the same way that you would do that for the launch of any other product. In the early days of producing apps, it would be enough to get your app in the App Store, and the first few hundred apps out there got massive exposure just by being up there. But now, in perfect honesty, you put your app in the App Store to get buried. You have to actually go and do the work yourself to get it up the listings, to get people to notice it. So you need a website, you need all of the typical kind of marketing activities. You know, pick out a list of bloggers that are going to be interested, get people talking about it, all of that kind of stuff, and be planned in advance. Really think all of these things through long before you launch your app. Don't necessarily stick it out there without any idea as to how you're going to go about all of those activities. Another really good tip is to aim to have as much publicity as possible on the first day or the first week of the app launch, because anything you can do, if you can get everything that you can muster to hit on a single day, you're much more likely to bump it up the download charts, which is a really good way of getting it noticed. That's a very similar technique that we used in the Kickstarter campaign. I know it's completely different, but our goal was to have as many people as possible on day one. So we pre-briefed bloggers in advance, we pre-briefed all of the journalists that we were friendly with in advance. We told our core customers, so they all hit on the one day. And it's very, very similar when you're launching an app. You want to just make as much noise so that you get up onto some of the top apps lists and you get noticed.